How are you? Carole Garrison with Carole's Creative Escape here for our Monday Make It. A couple minutes late, I apologize for that. Was scrambling to real quick get done my last example for the cards that I was going to demonstrate tonight, and it just took me a minute or two longer to get finished than I had anticipated. I can't even blame it on the internet this time, although that's always a good excuse. So hopefully people are able to join in. Looks like I've got one watcher. Hi, April. If you are here, can just give me a thumbs up or a like so that I know I've got a couple people watching. Looks like somebody else joined in. And I can see myself on Facebook now. So that's always good. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Tonight, the card that we're going to make is called the Joy Fold card. And this card kind of came up to my attention because I was participating in a card swap where I had to make a fun fold, and it was a lot of fun. I actually had one card designed and then discovered somebody else was doing the same fold, and so I did not want to send the same fold for the swap as somebody else was doing, so I had to quick design another card last night. And the card that I designed is this one right here, and it I like how it turned out. However, there were lots of layers to this card, and one of the things that I discovered is that it was 1.1 ounces, and so for mailing it just cost, can you tell I've been stamping today? It just costs a little bit more to mail out to people, and I knew that there was another fold very similar to this that I could incorporate into a card, and so I wanted to share that with you tonight. And so from what I can tell, this is called the Joyful Fold, the Joy Fold card, and it's a very simple card. It just opens up like this, and you can have a little greeting in the inside, a little bit of decoration on the outside. I like this one too because it gives you a chance to really show off some of the beautiful designer series paper that we have. And so this is one example that I made. And then I've got another one here, and have never used this jellyfish paper. This comes from the Whale of a Time, which if you've watched any of my videos, you know that that's one that I really do like and use a lot. But here's with the jellyfish. And on this one, instead of using the two different colors of cardstock like I did here and two patterns, I just used one cardstock, and then I actually used some of the designer series paper from this package to create my background image here too. So you're kind of a big deal. And then I just stamped a little bit of the seaweed coral on the inside as well to brighten that one up. So there's another variation. And then I've got this card, and again, this is a stamp set that I haven't used, and dandelion something. I cannot remember the name of it right off the top of my head. So if somebody can help me with that out there, maybe April, Ann, or Donna could look in their catalogs for me real quick. But cute little bumblebee and the dandelion paper, since we're heading into spring. We're going to start seeing our crop of dandelions, and I've heard that they don't want you taking the heads off these dandelions the first round because it's one of the early food sources for bumblebees, and we need to make sure that we're getting them a lot of food as well, because we're pretty dependent upon them for our food chain. And I did use a little bit of the Wink Stella on the wings, just so that they'd kind of have a little sparkle to them. So these are the three cards that I made ahead of time. And now we will jump in, and I will show you the card that we're going to make for tonight. I am using a stamp that's been around in our annual catalog for, I think, going on 2 years now, called Sailing Home. I really like all of the sea stuff, and lighthouses are a special thing for my husband and I. We like to visit them when we're out traveling, and haven't had a chance to do that lately, so again, I'm trying to bring my stamping into my vacations, I guess. So to make this card, what you need is a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and you're going to score that at 3 inches. And so basically you want to do what I didn't do the first time, is when you're making your cut it this way, because then you've automatically got your 8.5 inches, and you just need to cut the 4 1/4 here, and you'll have the right width with one cut. So again, 8.5 by 4 1/4, scored at 3 inches. You also need a second piece of cardstock, and it can be the same color or a coordinating color. I've got Early Espresso here. This one measures 3 inches by 8 inches. So again, when you're cutting that, go ahead and cut it this direction if you don't have a scrap that's going to fit. And then you just have to take a 1/2 inch off the one end. So you've got 3 inches by 8 inches, scored at 4. You also need a piece of designer series paper that measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then a second piece of coordinating designer series paper that will measure I think I cut this one the wrong size, possibly. Yes, I did. It needs to measure 2 3/4 by 4, and I happen to cut that one 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I think I've already got this at 4, so I'm just going to cut off 2 3/4 real quick here. Kind of feels like you're back at a class with me, doesn't it, you guys? Always have to have one piece cut wrong. Okay, there we go. 2 3/4 by 4, and then 5 1/4 by 4 on your designer series paper. And then you also need to have 2 pieces of either the very vanilla or basic white. It just depends on what you are using for your designer series paper, which color it should be. This is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. You need 2 of those. All right, and then I've also done a little bit of die cutting here ahead of time with the Sailing Home stamp set, just so that you didn't have to listen to me crank from afar here on my die cutting machine. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing that we're going to do is fold over the short end of our Night of Navy cardstock, and I'm just going to burnish it at the score line. You want to try to get a pretty good burnish in on that, so you've got a good crisp fold. We can set that aside, and we'll take our Early Espresso and burnish that as well. And you've probably figured out now that we're using Night of Navy ink, just based on my fingers here. So then we'll pull back our Night of Navy piece, and we're going to go ahead and get our designer series paper attached. And so, Dandy Garden DSP, thank you. Appreciate that, Donna. Okay, that was the paper that was used on this card right here. Okay, then you're just going to center this on the open space. And if you want to layer like I did on this card, I've just got, I just cut this at the 2 3/4 by 4, and then my designer series paper was at 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. So you just need to knock them down by whatever increment is appropriate. And then we are going to attach our other piece of designer series paper, and you can use the same designer series paper, or you can mix up your patterns a little bit. This particular set of designer series paper I'm using has got great backgrounds in it, and it comes with a whole assortment. It's In Good Taste designer series paper, and it really goes with a variety of colors of cardstock and inks, just based on kind of the neutral tones in the packet that exists. I'm trying to pick up some of the navy colors that I'm seeing by using that as my background paper. Okay, then we are going to move to start decorating the front panel of our card. Eventually it's going to sit on here. And the one struggle I had with our lighthouse is it hangs over the edge a little bit. and I decided I didn't care, and I'm still going to use it. So, and in fact, I may raise it up a little bit. What I was struggling with is, do I also want to have, I was actually debating between using the lighthouse or, having a terrible time picking things up tonight, my 2 sailboats. And I think I'm going to use the lighthouse, and then my greeting I die cut out of the smooth sailing dies that go with this stamp set here. So I am going to do a greeting as well, and I think I'm going to use this one. If I recall right, it fits. All right, I'm going to use the actually, you know what? No, I'm going to change my mind because I can do that. I'm going to use this Set Sail in the Direction of Your Dreams because we're starting to hit graduation time, and this would make a great graduation card as well. So let me mount this stamp on my block, and I'm going to go ahead and use Night of Navy ink to ink up my image. And I'll center that here on this die cut that I already made. Not bad. The other thing with this die is you can actually use one of our circle punches and it'll fit in there, so if you wanted to offset your image a little bit, you can do that as well. And I did want to get, there's some little birds that go with this stamp set that I want to use once I get my images adhered. So I think I'm going to put my lighthouse right on the edge here. Did you guys enjoy the nice weather we had over the weekend? I actually put my clothesline up. I had a neighbor, she's moved away now, but we always kind of had a contest to see who would get our clothesline up first every year. And we just have one of those like tent ones, whatever, that you push up and then you get the square out of it. And it was always kind of a fun little contest to see who could get it up first. And she moved away. Well, this is her second summer now, I think, that they've been gone. Second or third. And I went ahead and hung up my clothesline, and then I sent her a text with a picture of the clothesline up. And she called me back right away after she saw it, and we ended up talking for about an hour and a half on Friday night, just getting caught up on stuff. But it was kind of a fun memory, and our sheets were nice and crisp from being out on the clothesline all day Saturday drying. So kind of hard to believe right now that we've got snow on the ground again, but it is what it is. Oh, Donna and April. Yeah, I really do miss my classes, and I'm looking forward to the day that we can get together again. I actually was supposed to get my second COVID vaccine last Wednesday, and got a call Tuesday, and the pharmacy did not receive, I'm guessing the pharmacy did not receive their vaccine, so they had to cancel the clinic, and I get to go in this Wednesday to get my second dose, and kind of looking forward to having that done. My mom's already had both hers, so it really does free up a lot of the worry that we've had bringing something into the building where my mom lives. And my husband is temporarily working for my company, and because we do a lot of first responding to things, we were able to get our employees vaccinated as well, working with one of our clients. So And then with both Joe and Sarah being in first responder type positions, our family's actually sitting pretty good. We're grateful that at least in a couple weeks we'll be able to start socializing with each other without too much worry of bringing anything in. So maybe that means that in a few more months classes can start too. We'll just kind of have to see how things go. That was a long story to get there, wasn't it? Then I think as long as I've got these sailboats trimmed out, I'm going to go ahead and put one of these on the inside of my card. I've been trying to do a little bit more decorating on the inside of my cards as well as the outside of my cards. Need to focus on my envelopes still a little more, but really working on that part. Okay, then what I'm going to do is put adhesive on the back side of my early espresso. Oh, hey, Jody. Glad you could join us. Yeah, I was very excited, Jody, to get my sheets out. And in fact, we had to get a new set of sheets, so I threw those in the wash real quick and was able to get them out on the clothesline as well. So next week when I put fresh sheets on the bed, we'll have some more clothesline sheets out there for us. Life's simple pleasures. All right, then I'm just putting adhesive on the back of my image here that I created for the front. I did pop up the greeting on dimensionals, but I didn't put anything else on dimensionals. And so you can see it doesn't matter that the lighthouse is off the paper at all because it still all fits within the card. So there's just another variation of this card. Again, what I found it called is the Joy Fold. I don't know if that's the correct name, but this is a really quick and easy card. It doesn't have huge amounts of weight, so it's not going to cost extra to mail like this other card is that I made. And it's a great way to use either your scraps of designer series paper or show off all that pretty designer series paper so it doesn't get completely covered up. And it's a good way if you like to do the kind of the complementary type patterns on those cards. It works out really well. So here are just a few examples. Again, the paper can really change it up. Just kind of a thank you card, graduation card, a birthday or a retirement going away card, and kind of another congratulations sort of a card, or you could make it into a big birthday card, whatever you want to do. So there you go. Here's a few cards, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch tonight. Thanks, Ann and April. I appreciate it. One thing I want to let you know is I am going to be participating in a blog hop again this week. It'll go live on Thursday, and I'm doing a technique. It's a masked grid card, which is a new technique for me, but I will be posting a link for the blog hop on this page as well as my business page, and so if you get a chance, check it out. For those of you that I stamp with under Susan Campfield, you'll probably recognize a few of the names that are in the blog hop as well, but it's a great way. We focus on a technique every month, and it's just a great way to learn some new things here. So be sure to check that out. Otherwise, I will see you next Monday for Make It Monday on the 22nd at 7:30. Thanks again. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.